condoms, never leave them in your wallet. If you have a condom in your wallet and you've left it there for like, let's say you have a dry spell. No. I'm just saying, don't use a condom because it's very likely to split, and also because like the heat from like it being from your pocket.
I also think that if you have a condom in your wallet, it leaves a little condom mark on the leather.
It does.
Which I don't really like. Did you have sex education? I definitely learned all my sex education in the playground at secondary school.
Yeah.
That was where I learned everything.
Does that include like actually how to have sex properly?
I remember there being any sex education which was aimed at like gay people or like lesbians or anything.
I think you learn that on the job more than anything. Like.
Yeah, I got sent out actually because I laughed. No, I continued laughing for about half an hour because I didn't know what to say.
I was like 5 or 6 years old at primary school, and they started really early.
No,
Yeah.
do you mean like year 5 or 6? I think you're over exaggerating.
Year 5 and 6,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
You can get an STI from a toilet seat.
False.
Someone once told me you could get cervical cancer from a toilet seat. It was a lie.
It says you can.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
I
you
think you
can.
can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that's true.
Yeah, true.
It's false. You couldn't get an STI from a toilet seat. To get an STI, you need to have had skin-to-skin contact with somebody else.
Women are more likely to get an STI than get pregnant. Yeah. No? Ooh.
Yeah.
I bet that's true.
Because like lots of girls I suppose would have like an implant or like...
Yeah.
I think men get more because they're more like slutty.
It's a very individual thing how easy it is to get pregnant. If you're not using any contraception, the figures show that if you're having unprotected sex for a year, that 99% of women, I think, will get pregnant.
How long should you wait to have sex again after you've finished a treatment course for chlamydia?
I mean, surely you can just get back on it, really, can't you?
I feel like you should go to the doctors and make sure you've got it all clear.
Yeah. For treatment for chlamydia, the treatment can either be a one-off treatment, sort of 2 capsules of antibiotic called azithromycin, and then you just take those and then you abstain from intercourse completely for a week. Or you could have a week's course of doxycycline, depending on what the doctor or nurse have given you, and then you would need to abstain from intercourse from the time that you start the antibiotics right through when you're taking them and for 7 days afterwards.
True or false, over 50% of people have herpes.
But when they say herpes, does that include your like cold sores and stuff? Cold sores?
Yeah, you've got cold sores, yeah.
Cold sores.
Not cold sore.
What was the stat you said before?
Well, genital herpes, the stat I gave was 25%. I'm pretty sure I looked that up.
Oh, no, I don't know. I still think that's too high.
I think, yeah, definitely over 50% of people
Yeah,
have
you're
like at least a
looking
cold sore.
70 odd.
I reckon like
Yeah.
70, yeah.
I don't know what the figures are, but a lot of people have had cold sores as a child, and a lot of people then continue to get them into their adulthood. I haven't the faintest idea how many people we're talking about, but there are a lot of adults walking around who do have regular cold sores, and so therefore they've just got to be careful when they're having sex with somebody that they don't pass it on during oral sex or through kissing.
You can't get an STI off your partner if they're a virgin.
Oral sex.
Oral sex.
Like, just fluids, like you were saying,
Yeah.
so you don't need actual intercourse.
Well, yeah, herpes.
like
false, yeah.
genital warts and stuff, you can get that just from like
Seriously?
touching down there, yeah.
That's crazy.
And like
that's
apparently
mad.
sharing towels technically.
You could pass on HIV by kissing because, for example, say if you're kissing someone and then that person ended up snapping the frenulum in the tongue and they started bleeding and gushing out blood, then I'm not going to say it's happened to myself or another person, but if that person had
Was it a
HIV,
friend? Was it a friend?
it was a friend.
That's partially true. Well, it is true, because if somebody has never had sex before, they're not going to be carrying any sexually transmitted infections. However, they could have something like cold sores. Cold sores is the herpes virus. If you have oral sex with somebody who has got a cold sore, then potentially you can get genital herpes. It's called herpes type 1, and will give you very similar symptoms to herpes type 2, which is genital to genital infection. So you just have to be very careful if somebody has a cold sore that you don't have oral sex or kiss them at that time if you've never had any in your life.
What are the symptoms for chlamydia?
You get like kissing razor blades.
I thought you quite often didn't have symptoms. I thought that was the problem.
I think that's women. I literally have no idea.
No idea.
Most people who have chlamydia don't actually know that they've got it. So in women, 80% who have the infection don't know, and in men, 50% of men who have it don't know. Symptoms in women would include things like bleeding in between their normal bleeds when they're on the combined pill, so bleeding when they shouldn't. It could be pain during intercourse or bleeding after intercourse, pain on passing urine, going more often than normal. So there are a variety of symptoms